Do you remember the first time that you played with magnets? I know this sounds like a weird question, but I promise I'm going somewhere with this. If you're anything like me, you were probably, I don't know, sometime in grade school, you had marker stains all over your hands, and you're playing with these magnets, you're watching them push and pull, attract and repel. It felt like magic, didn't it? But you were in science class, and I want you to imagine that that's where we are today as I share a few principles about magnetism. So this is less metaphysical and more Miss Morrison sharing a lesson on a chalkboard. Class is in session. The first principle of magnetism is that magnetism requires movement. Magnets look like these smooth, still slabs of black, but there's actually electrons doing an entire dance inside the magnets. So if you want to be a magnet, you've got to move. Magnetism isn't simply a mindset shift, it's an action. And that action could look like a lot of things. Maybe you start researching companies, or you choose to answer truthfully to the question, how are you? Or you start to design products with your dreamiest clients in mind. Congratulations. Once you start moving, you create a magnetic field. But really, that internal movement is only the first step. Yeah, you might draw a person or an opportunity closer to you just by your own movement. And honestly, it feels safe to just stay here and say, okay, magnetism is about movement. I'm just going to focus on me and doing movement, keep it really self contained. But your true magnetic force only gets revealed through interaction. And that's the second principle of magnetism. Magnetism requires interaction. If I ask you to think about magnetism, you are thinking about an interaction. You're thinking about the way that two magnets snap together, or you're thinking about the way that they repel each other like they're siblings who are in a sibling rivalry. Maybe you think of in school the way that we use magnets to draw patterns with iron fillings, or the way that you put a magnet on a part of your fridge that you think is magnetic, and instead you hear the scratchy sound of it sliding down. The only way that we recognize and potentially amplify our magnetism is to engage. So that project, it can't just stay in your head. You have to share it. You got to invite people to hang out. Ask the questions that you used to swallow. Visit environments that you never imagined yourself in. You become a magnetic force when you broaden your interactions. Notice what comes nearer and what darts farther away, which brings us to our last principle of magnetism. Magnetism attracts and repels. Unlike batteries and magnets, people don't come with a plus or minus sign. So if you want to be magnetic, you are going to both attract and repel. That's magnetism, baby. Magnetism is not a strategy for people who only want to be liked, or for people who need to know exactly how things will turn out. You can guess at who or what is or isn't for you, but you can't control it. When I mentioned this to my husband, Matt, who's a basketball lover, he, surprise, surprise, made a basketball connection. He said, oh yeah, this is like Caitlin Clark. And if you're watching this and you're sports illiterate, let me break it down real quick for you. Caitlin Clark was the WNBA's 2024 Rookie of the Year. Her generational talent and her lack of melanin attracted a racist contingent in her fan base. Could Caitlin control who she attracted? Nope. But she could have moved differently when she saw what came in. And you can too. So there you have it, the three principles of magnetism. Magnetism requires movement. Magnetism requires interaction. Magnetism attracts and repels. So hopefully now you realize magnetism isn't some fatalist abstract strategy. It's science, and it's available to you. Time to get moving.